Hello, and welcome back to a little bit of Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. So, I got a little battle set up here. It's not that important. That's not really the issue. What we're going to talk about. Let's see. Let's see if my König Albert, the battleship here, actually opens fire on the Japanese battleship 40 kilometers away. I should have the range, right? I'm taking fire from it. What is my range on these guns? Oh, 64 kilometers. That should be plenty. But it's not firing. Why is that? One may wonder. Let's see if I set my fire at will thing to aggressive. Now it does fire. Let's just make it go a little bit faster here. But I have a 0% chance to hit. The enemy does not have a 0% chance to hit. Now, oh, I did actually hit some there. But I didn't hit the battleship I was aiming at. I just accidentally hit something else. Still have a 0% chance to hit the actual battleship. So, my guns won't hit. Well, they will, but only accidentally when they miss their target. And you can see the problem here. Past 35 kilometers, I've got 0% accuracy with AP. And the HE stops working at 30 kilometers. And the issue is, well, it's partly the gun barrel length, 55 caliber length, but the base length of these guns was 53 calibers. So they're not really lengthened that much. But the propellant is triple base. And I've got light shells. Let's see if my other ships exhibit the same problems, although they are not even in range. Yeah. Some fairly mundane barrel length here on these 6-inch guns, 45 caliber length. But again, triple base. And look at the accuracy. On paper, I should have an AP range of 22 kilometers and an HE range of 20 kilometers. But HE stops working at 10,000 meters. AP stops working at 15,000, and they barely even work up until those ranges. Basically, I have to close to within like 5,000 meters if I want any degree of realistic accuracy. And the DD, again, same story. On paper, the range is pretty good, but in practice, well, I have to pretty much be in spitting distance. So, yeah. Now let's take a look at this battleship I was fighting. A Japanese battleship that I also built. I didn't bother building the DD and light reserve for the enemy. That's not really that important. Its guns, 50 caliber length, not that much shorter. But, and you can see the range on paper much worse. I had this 20 kilometer range advantage over this on paper. Just looking at the max range, but this one has actual accuracy all the way out to its maximum range because it's using super heavy shells and tube powder. And this is in vanilla, by the way, not the Dreadnought Improvement Project or any other mod, although you do see the same problems pop up there too. So these guns I've shortened by 6% just to make them an even 50 caliber length. They also had a base length of I think it was 53 calibers. These 7-inch guns I've lengthened to the maximum. They were like 35 caliber length base, so plus 22% barrel length. You can't make them any longer. I was trying to make them 45s, but 44 was all I could manage. But even so, they've got decent accuracy out to their maximum range. Because, well, tube powder, super heavy shells. Tube powder is pretty good. It gives you a much lower flashfire explosion chance. And it decreases your gun reload time. So, the disadvantage, excuse me, the disadvantage is supposed to be the minus 9% gun range and minus 7% muzzle velocity. But in practice, it actually gives you better range. Same with super heavy shells. It says plus 3.5 gun range, but the minus 10% muzzle velocity means that in practice you get less range. Let's take a look at my own ships here. Let's see what we can do to fix them. And, well, you probably already guessed the answer. We're gonna change some stuff around here. Yeah. And with the secondaries, same story. Even the 4.2-inch guns. No actual accuracy. Let's first switch to tube powder. Now we have a range of, let's see, with triple base, 64 and 55 kilometers with AP and HE. But again, no actual accuracy out to that range, so it's kind of pointless. With tube powder, which brings so many other advantages, my flashfire chance is now 0. So I could even drop my barbette armor down to, well, I could just pick the cheapest and lightest barbette type and still have a 0% chance for a flashfire. So that's a huge advantage of tube powder. And the disadvantage, which is supposedly the well, lower range, shorter range, not really a disadvantage, because your actual practical range is better. Same with the light shell size. Yeah, you get, where is it? Plus 12.5% muzzle velocity, which is slightly offset by the minus 5% gun range. But you still get more range. If I switch this to super heavies, my range has dropped to 46.9 kilometers. Down from, was it, with tube powder? I hate it when it just doesn't show up. 53. Down to 46. But my accuracy is so much better, and now even the HE accuracy has improved out to 40,000 meters, 4.6%. That's not bad. So the disadvantage to super heavy shells is supposed to be the well, less range, basically, and also less gun base accuracy and less long range accuracy. But in practice, because of how much this game now punishes muzzle velocity, and again, this is vanilla, this is no mod installed or anything, your actual practical accuracy just gets so much better. So let's see, let's do the same with the light cruiser. And here it is. I've even lengthened the gun barrels by 12%. 12% extra gun barrel length. That is well, not a whole lot, but it's something. But the 45 caliber barrel length, it's not extreme or anything. But again, the issue is the propellant. Switch to tube powder, and things improve a little bit. Switch to super heavy shells, and they improve a lot. The maximum range is shorter, but previously with the light shells and the triple base propellant, I was never going to hit anything out to 16 kilometers anyway. So, again, this is better. It is safer. And it's more powerful. So there's no disadvantage. Let's just do the DD too, but I think you get the picture. Yeah. Completely useless guns. And if you followed my my Italian campaign, I was this change to how muzzle velocity works. It was introduced a couple of patches ago during the campaign, and I found that DDs I had built and had in service in my Italian Navy, which they had decent working guns when designed and when built, suddenly completely useless and unable to hit anything out to any decent range because, well, light shells and triple base is just a terrible combination as it is right now. Let's just switch to super heavies before switching the propellants, and suddenly you get some accuracy. Out to 15,000 meters, 1.8 and 2.6% accuracy with HE and AP. Let's drop down to tube powder and see if that improves. Well, the range probably will drop, so let's see at 12,500, 2.8 and 3.9% HE and AP. .3 and 3.2, so that's actually a little bit worse, but that's because the range has dropped also. So let's go into battle again and see if my battleship will actually hit something. So while before this change was introduced, having more range, more total range and more muzzle velocity was pretty much always a good thing in terms of accuracy. Because if you had a max range of, say, something crazy like 80 kilometers on a battleship, which is, well, not completely unattainable. If you had big guns, Mark 5s, firing cap ballistic AP shells and triple base, yeah, you can make your guns hit 80 kilometer range. Your accuracy at 40,000 meters, basically half your range, would be better than a comparable gun with a max range of 60 kilometers, which would be 2/3 of its range. But then the muzzle velocity nerf, which it basically is, hit pretty hard. Let's also drop this barrel length down to the base 53 calibers. Let's see if my accuracy at, say, 40,000 meters improves. It's now 4.6 and 7.3. Or if it gets worse. 4.6 and 7.3, so it's the same. But my guns are now lighter and they fire a bit faster, so no real downside here. Let's go again. Okay, will my battleship fire at the start of the battle without changing the gunfire mode to aggressive? I think it will. There it goes. And instantly, you see I actually have some accuracy here. So that's a pretty big improvement. Now, I might not get lucky this time and accidentally blow up a DD, because that happens when your shells are off target and something is nearby. Well, you might hit that something. And this time my shells will not be so off target. But they are actually on target. As you can see, 15% chance to hit, 34 kilometers. Gotten a little bit closer this time than last time, just by virtue of my ship being heading towards the enemy at the start. There we go. I'm actually hitting So that was just a little demonstration of how I don't like exactly how the muzzle velocity thing works. I get what they were going for. Before the change, there was no real downside to having long barrels and high muzzle velocity, in terms of accuracy at least. But there were actual downsides then, and there still are. Basically deck penetration. The higher your muzzle velocity, which is a factor of your propellants and your barrel length, among other things, and also your shells, the flatter the trajectory will be, which is not good if you're trying to go for deck penetrations. So that was always the downside to having really long barrels and high muzzle velocity. And they're supposed to kind of simulate barrel wear, but I don't think that's a good way to go about it. I think if they had just increased the maintenance cost instead. So the higher your muzzle velocity, the higher the maintenance cost is, because you have to replace your gun barrel liners more often. A little light cruiser here took a big hit. Now my light cruiser can actually hit that DD, which seems to be on low fuel. See if we can get some torpedoes going out towards this enemy battleship. There we go. Poor Strasbourg, probably not gonna make it out alive. But I think the Strasbourg, no, our torpedoes were not on target. Maybe this salvo will be. The DD did manage to hit its torpedoes. Let's bring the battleship in. There we go. Was that a light cruiser that we just sank? Yes, it was. And here's the enemy DD on low fuel. As I said, I didn't bother designing the DD or light cruiser for the enemy team this time. That's just an AI design. Poor thing. Let's go kill it. Unless my DD just explodes on the way there. The way Strasbourg almost did. Oh, and the Akagi actually sinks. What did that? Is that a torpedo? Killing it? Yes, it was. Strasbourg got revenge with one of our torpedoes. But yeah. That's basically all I wanted to show you. How badly muzzle velocity is punished in the current version of the game. The next patch is already in the beta stage, so we might see some changes there. Oh, this poor DD has no view range. Let's see if this DD has the same issue with its guns. Not really, no. It's got 2 powder, and it's got standard shell size. Why is it on low fuel? Is it, oh, minus 14.8% draft. That'll do it. And it's dead. So, a short little demonstration of accuracy, and muzzle velocity. Let's just quickly take a look at the whole deck penetration thing that I briefly mentioned. So let's see here. Armor quality plus 169%. Let's just set it down to 170. And this whole problem is more prevalent late game than early game. A lot because of well, tube powder. It's a late game technology. So, and also Mark V guns tend to have higher muzzle velocities. So if we go back to triple base, yeah, it's overweight. That doesn't really matter that much. Triple base, and let's make them 55 calibers again. Let's see, deck penetration at 40,000 meters, 23.8 inches. That's quite a lot. But then again, we're talking vanilla here, so you get crazy crazy penetration numbers. If we make it, let's see, was it -6 for 50 caliber? Yes, 26.4 inches. And with tube powder, come on, show me the gun stats. There we are. Well, don't quite have that range anymore, but now I can reach 30 inches of deck penetration at only 35,000 meters. So that is certainly something. Let's just bump it up so I can compare it to 40,000 meters again. There we go, 27.4 at 40,000 meters. Or I can shorten them even more, down to 50 caliber length, get my reload time down to below 30 seconds, and have even more deck penetration at only 35 kilometers. So I guess that's kind of the meta in the current version of the game, 1.5.1.6, at least in vanilla. Don't lengthen your barrels. It is pretty much always pointless. And don't pick triple base. Don't pick light shells. Of course, as human players, we can kind of figure this out by just looking at the range penetration and accuracy table here. But the AI doesn't know that. And I've seen multiple times the AI design ships that have those problems. We saw it in my campaign previously. Granted, that was playing with the Dreadnought Improvement Project mod, which does have the same issues because I think the whole thing is hard-coded and it's kind of hard to mod around. Although might be wrong there. But yeah, I wish they would change it back to how it was a couple of patches ago, because, well, 0% accuracy is kind of bad. You shouldn't really have those kind of numbers, or lack of numbers. And the actual accuracy shown in the table here, it's not really, like, it's gonna get further improved or worsened in battle depending on weather and damage to your ship, and if you've got your range found bonus and whatnot. But no matter what kind of multiplier you add to 0%, 0 is, well, it's not going to be anything else than 0, because that's just not how it works. So yeah, I think in short, muzzle velocity is punished too much in this game, and I wish they would tone it down, but this is how it works currently, so just be on the lookout for that. Don't just think that more range currently makes your guns actually hit stuff out to that range. Let's just make it absurd, just for just to prove the point here. 65 caliber length, 78 kilometer range. That's kind of wild, but as you can see, the accuracy has gone straight down the toilet, as has the deck penetration. And again, it's kind of weird. It goes a little bit up and down, which doesn't really make sense, because the further out your target is, the more straight down your shells will plunge. But as you can see, the deck penetration goes up to 16.6 inches at 35 kilometers, and then it goes down again for some reason. So yeah, lots of weirdness all around. But that's Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts for you. And also, suddenly the accuracy has, well, not improved, but it's, well, I guess it doesn't really show me the table beyond 50 kilometers, but it's already 0 at 45,000. So that range, 78 kilometers, not really helping me. It's just added weight and added reload time for nothing. And the AI doesn't know this, so sometimes you will see the AI build ships with gun barrels that are, well, if not exactly this long, then maybe like that, 61 calibers, and have just completely useless guns that will not hit and will lack deck penetration and will just have extra reload time and extra weight for nothing. So I wish that would be toned down, but at least now you know that you shouldn't do this. You should instead do this and do that and do this, because you get advantages for no penalties. So that's I guess in someone's head that's balanced. I don't agree, but that's how it is. Goodbye and take care.